All right, very last thing on this set of notes, examples with a GCF. We talked about GCF last week. Remember, a GCF is a greatest, so the biggest common or the same factor. When I think of factor, I'm thinking of multiplication. So the directions say look for a GCF, greatest common factor, first, then factor the remaining trinomial. So if I look at number 23, this is not like the ones we had just done, right? I have a number or I have a value in front of my k squared. I can't go straight into my x method yet. What I'm looking for is a greatest common factor. So my a is 4, my b is 12, and my c is 8. I'm thinking to myself, what number goes into 4, 12, and 8? The greatest common factor, as you all probably have in your head already, is 4. So I am going to take out a 4 from this trinomial. How I'm going to do that is I'll divide every single term by 4. I can't just get rid of this 4 magically, so I'm going to pull it out front. I have a 4, and then I'll divide each term by 4. 4k squared divided by 4, my 4's cancel out, and I'm left with k squared. 12k divided by 4. 12 divided by 4 gets me what? 3, and I still have that k left over. And then 8 divided by 4 is 2. Now, if I look at this, I pulled out my greatest common factor of 4, and I am left with k squared plus 3k plus 2. This trinomial, 1, 2, 3 terms, has an a value of 1, right? There is no coefficient in front of k squared anymore. So I can go back to what I've been doing. I can set up my x. I'm running out of room. I can set up my x and find two numbers that add up to get 3, multiply to get 2. I have two positive numbers, right? So I'm going to have two positive factors. 2 plus 1 gets me 3. 2 times 1 gets me 2. How am I going to write my final answer? I can't just get rid of this 4. So my final answer becomes, I'm so sorry, this is getting messy, 4, my greatest common factor, times k plus 2 times k plus 1. What I just did was I kept my greatest common factor and then wrote this trinomial in factored form. Let me show you one more. I'm running out of space, so I'm going to go down to 27 so you can finish these 4 problems. 2b squared plus 10b plus 12. Again, I have a number this time in front of b squared, so I can't just go straight to my x method, but I'm thinking to myself, what is my greatest common factor? What number goes into 2, 10, and 12? 2 goes into all 3 terms, so I'll divide each term by a 2. I can't just get rid of it, so it comes out front. And I'm going to divide each term by 2. 2 divided by 2, that cancels out. I'm left with a b squared. 10b divided by 2 is 5b. And 12 divided by 2 is 6. Now, I have a trinomial that has an a value of 1. There is no number in front of b squared, so I assume it's 1. I'll set up my x again to factor this. Two numbers that add up to get 5, multiply to get 6. They're both positive, right? So I'm going to have two positive factors. 3 plus 2 is 5. 3 times 2 is 6. If this part is stumping you, definitely use a multiplication table. It can be frustrating to not be able to find the factor super quick. It just takes time, okay? Just practice. I cannot get rid of this greatest common factor, so I'll leave it out front. I have 2 times, and I'm going to write this in factored form, b plus 3 times b plus 2. All right? This is what I see most difficult for students. So once you find the greatest common factor, remember you can go straight to your X method, but it will make factoring way easier if you're able to identify the greatest common factors, okay? So if you have any questions, call me over. Otherwise, all of your notes should be complete. Good job, you guys.